start with, I'm gonna grab this right here. I'm gonna get a starting point first.
Just the impact too.
Okay. And kind of we're going to go through it together.
Okay.
Start with this 1-inch flex wheel, right?
Yep.
Doing 1 inch. So the first measurement is 8 inches. You can go ahead and flip. First measurement is 8 inches. We're determining how much of the jacket we're going to remove, right? So in order to do that, I'm just going to make a mark at 8 inches. Okay. I take a pipe cutter just to score the jacket. Don't cut through, it will cut through the pipe, so careful here. And I'm just going to line up my mark. If you're a little bit long, you know, more than 8 inches, it's okay. You just don't want to be less. So all I'm doing is scoring that all the way around so I have a straight cut. And I'm going to take the utility knife, razor knife, to finish it, because this is not going to cut through the steel, the stainless. So what I do first is kind of do that there to finish it off from where we scored it. Okay. And then I'm going to cut laterally. Okay, maybe one more time, just for good measure. I'll take a flathead screwdriver or something just to peel this away. And if we're not cut all the way through, just kind of finish it off, right? Keep this for the end, I'll show you. All right, that's the first measurement, right? 8 inches. Second measurement. Sharpie so we can see it. Second measurement, 4.7, or I say 4 3/4 in the valley.
Okay.
Got it? So 4 3/4. I'm looking for 3/4 in the valleys, right there. So take that. There's 3/4, right? I'm just gonna make a mark. Doesn't have to be perfect, but right in there, you can see kind of just a mark to tell me where I'm going. This is determining how much of the secondary I want to remove. So what we do to remove that, I'm gonna turn this for you a little bit. You come over here and look from the end. Because it's helically corrugated, you're gonna have an open side and then a closed side, right?
Yep.
With the open side, I got more room to grab it from the open side than I do here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take these end nips, I'm gonna grab them here as much as I can, get a good bite. It's helically corrugated. We have to peel it the same way. So I'm just going to break it, grab it, break it there, and then I'm going to try to grab as much as I can to start peeling. So when I do, we're going to peel. And what we're doing when we peel this is we're trying to create a tongue to use our stripping tool, okay? So all I'm doing is making a tongue. So that's more than enough for me. Now I'm just gonna try to straighten this out a little bit. All right, and that's not flat enough. So taking a hammer, this is what the tool, the stripping tool, okay? Can you see that split?
Yep.
That's the split we're using to, you're gonna have to get
I
that
see.
on there, okay? So in order to get it on there, you gotta flatten this out. Okay. See if that's good enough. All right, we're on there. Now when we peel, we're peeling
4.7.
with the corrugation, right?
Yep.
If you just peel straight in one direction, it's just gonna break. You have to peel in that direction,
Gotcha.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm going with the pipe. So we're peeling. Now, when I'm coming around here, you see where the mark's at?
Mm-hmm.
When I come back around, I'm gonna get to that mark. So I'm peeling. When I get to the mark, I'm parallel with the pipe, right?
Yeah.
Take it, drop it 90 degrees, right? Drop it down and just continue peeling.
Oh,
And it breaks. That's your starting point.
okay.
Got it?
All right.
So that's the starting point. We're good there. On the inside, these bands, these are made for Flexwell all over the world, but in the US, we don't use the bands. UL doesn't approve the use of these bands as far as what it was designed for in Europe. So all we're doing is cutting these out. That's all you need to know. It's in there, but so we're gonna cut these out. I just get as close as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then the plastic is just packaging. So just take a utility knife, just cut the plastic out. Okay. Plastic's just packaging. Now, in the manual, like I said, if we go step by step, you can't mess up. In the manual, it talks about putting the first four pieces 1 through 4 on. First one being the lock nut, right?
Yep.
So the lock nut there, let's see, right there. Lock nut is 1. We said it kind of goes over out of the way. I'm gonna make that a little bit longer. So lock nut's out of the way. Next you have the clamping nut, and the piece that the manual doesn't talk about in there, it shows it going on, but it doesn't say how it goes on. This is not gonna fit because of this. So what we have to do is take a hammer. We're gonna make the secondary as small as we can. Okay? To do that, take the hammer, right? We're gonna pinch it all the way around.
This look more American than German.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all the hand tools is American. We haven't got to the power tools yet. So we're gonna and then go back over it again in between, making sure that we're taking care of every nick. And then once you think you've made it small enough, the only test is to test the clamping ring, right? Because all we need to do is make it small enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, just small enough for this to go on. So
Just to get started.
yep, you're just trying to get it started. So here I'm starting to the thread, and looks like I'm good.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so we're good. Now, you got expansion ring. Remember, expansion ring, you got the flat side, tapered side. Flat side goes first into clamping ring. All right? This is your secondary seal. Okay? Secondary seal, the expansion ring has to go in the groove. So that side's always going to go on first. We typically do some form of lubricant, WD, white lithium, grease, whatever you want to use, but I just do a little bit of WD. And make sure not to force the seal over the ridges. Thread it. This is threaded, okay? So make sure you thread it. So here I'm going to pick it up over just to start it. And then with that WD on there, it should turn pretty easy. So all we're doing, those are the first 4 pieces like in the manual, right? All 4 pieces are on. That is the back half of the fitting. We've gotten them on, they're out of the way. Now we're going to focus on the front half. Okay, so you flip the page there to the next page. Next page is determining how much of the primary pipe are we going to cut off. How much do we need to remove? To do so, if you lay all your pieces out like the manual shows in order, if you lay all the pieces out like the manual shows, it's going to, you got your thrust ring is next. Okay. Thrust ring's next. It threads onto the primary. Got it? So we do that, thread it onto the primary, and we're going to thread it until it won't thread anymore. So we're tight, and we try to get it to 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
But it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
But we're here, we're tight, okay? Now, we're going to cut the primary off. After cutting it, remember this, we make our cut and remove this. Okay, we remove it. We're going to take our file. I have a half round file that works good for me, but we're going to file inside and out. Kind of tap the shavings out. They'll kind of walk out of the corrugation themselves, and then just kind of go back and feel for any burrs. Okay, nothing. All right. Now once this is nice and smooth, put this right back on, okay? Back to where it was at 12 o'clock. We're here. Now, you got your graphite seal. This graphite seal is asymmetrical, doesn't matter which way it goes, right? This graphite seal goes over the primary, but inside of the thrust ring if it's tight on one side, right? Because the pipe, sometimes it's hard to get the pipe straight, and you're going to have this problem. Take the seal out, back this off a little bit, right? Put the seal in first, thread it on with it. Got it? Then we're already in there, okay? Once the seal's inside, core piece threads inside of the primary. And then I'll take channel locks or something just to, these are big, but just to snug up the core piece. Just a little bit, right? Tight. Now, in the manual, some people make this mistake. You see here, this is talking about this being flush, right? In order for it to be flush, here, it's asking for you to thread it back, okay? Taking this, unthread it. Don't unthread it almost, or almost to it, or right at it. Unthread it as far as you can go. And what happens,
So seal it.
this thrust ring is on one side of the seal, the core piece is on the other side of the seal, and they both stop on the seal. It won't go any further. At that point, now we're flush, like the manual is talking about. Okay? It's flush. Now it's ready for the end piece to compress. Your end piece has a pin on it. That pin we line up with the groove, right? I'll line it up. If it's not completely lined up, I take a wooden handle, rubber handle, something that's not going to damage this. Just kind of tap it until you want it to be started in that groove, right?
Okay.
Got it? So it's seated, it's ready for compression.
What is that?
We're going to take our assembly tool. The assembly tool consists of the front side of the flange, which is solid, and it goes over the NPT threads, and then the back side is a split flange. Okay? That split flange fits here. Solid piece goes here. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. We're going to compress, you guys are going to compress one, but I'm not going to compress this training fitting. But all we're doing is lining this up. We're going to compress, tightening a little bit at a time, clockwise or counterclockwise, not a star pattern.
Okay.
Just pick a direction and go that direction a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, until the pin is seated all the way. Then you're going to take this off, okay? Once you take it off, you're going to take your pin sets. Pin set, there's 4 pins. And that has a hole in it. So the pins are tapered slightly on one side.
Yeah.
Okay? That side goes into these grooves. Okay?
Gotcha.
And you're gonna you see how that groove, these will line up when they compress. And then you're going to tap those in. Once you tap all 4 pins in, front side's done. We can't take the fitting off now. It's over with you once you compress it. Then the back side, all we're doing with the back side is seating, pulling everything forward into the back of the fitting to where it's nice and tight.
Okay.
Okay? I'm gonna let you guys do a fitting. But basically here we are taking everything, pulling it forward. I like grabbing the seal like this with my index finger and thumb, and when I'm trying to thread it into the back, if the pipe's not straight, you see here where it's touching the top side of the fitting, it's not going inside, then you gotta maybe wiggle it just a little bit to where you can get it to seat. We're gonna thread this as far as it'll go till we're good, and then I try to push it, try to force it over the corrugations to if it'll go any further, and it won't. That's as far as I need to go. Expansion ring, seat it, right? Spanner, I'm gonna grab it. Spanner wrench here. Take it here, gonna tighten it. In the manual, it states something like a 1/16 of an inch of this seal should be showing. So that's good, okay? And we want to make sure we lubricate well before we do the lock nut. And we're going hand tight first, as far as it'll go, which it should go about this far if everything's straight, and then finish it up with the spanner.
Okay.
Fitting's done. Got it?
All right. Hopefully.